What if Rimuru went to the classroom of the elite? By Sil 407 Chapter 1 to 4 years later, going to ANHS, 4 years later 3rd POV. For 4 years, Rimuru Nava has disappeared from the public eye, and at the current moment, no one from the outside can see her. After the banquet 5 years ago, Rimuru was attending to business meetings with other companies for about a year until she up and vanished. Business leaders always were asking the novice for their sons to marry Rimuru, but they always declined. One day Seal got so fed up with the marriage proposals that she now always says that Rimuru is not going to marry anyone when Velda and other business leaders meet. Rimuru Nava eventually faded from relevancy and became an enigmatic figure again who made one appearance and just disappeared. People still talk about her, but not as much anymore, which was the goal of Rimuru disappearing. Now Rimuru was on her way to a bus stop to go to her new school, Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School. This is where the future leaders of Japan attend and graduate from and go on to do great things for the country. The bus arrives and the doors open up to let the students on. While Rimuru was walking to the bus stop, people were gawking at the blue-haired beauty from across the street. Once she got to the bus stop, she hopped on the bus and everyone who saw her get on the bus started staring at her. "Master, look at all these humans ogling and defiling you with their eyes," Seal said with some malice infused with those words, while Rimuru on the outside felt the same way. She did not like the way they were looking at her. "You're right, Seal. There are a lot of perverts ogling at my body, but remember you made my body and face to be the pinnacle of perfection, so you are to blame for this also," Rimuru said while blaming Seal. Rimuru ended up taking a seat next to a girl who had a petite frame and lilac hair. She had the school uniform on as well, confirming she was a student at ANHS. She also had a cane with her on her side. "She probably has a disability that requires her to use a cane to walk, but I didn't know that this school accepts people with disabilities like this one," Rimuru monologues in her mind. "This girl has a smug face as well, but wait, she's a freakin' loli. This girl reminds me of a certain someone in my head," Rimuru said while having unsettling thoughts in her head about smug lolis. "But on the other end, our loli friend is having a mental crisis in her head because she got to meet someone she admired a lot, Rimuru Nava." She instantly recognized who got on the bus, but what she didn't account for was the fact that she was going to sit right next to her. "Loli girl Pav, no way. No freaking way. Why out of all people does she appear on my bus? But not only that, she sits right next to me. I don't know what to do. Should I talk to her and see if she talks to me back?" Situation playing in her mind if she talks to Rimuru. "Hey, what's your name, miss? It seems you have attracted a lot of attention from everyone on the bus." "Huh? Oh, hello there, little girl. You wanted to know my name? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to decline because I only give out my name to people I acknowledge as my equal." Oh, sorry for asking then, miss." Mission failed miserably. Situation ended. Nope. Not happening. If I talk to her, she will just ignore me or she won't even acknowledge me at all. And that would be the worst and most embarrassing thing to happen to me. No, this isn't the time to be worrying about such small details. I'm a natural genius just like her, so it should be easy to talk to her and get to plop what just hit me on the side of my shoulder. Oh my god. She actually fell asleep on my shoulder? And we are like 40 minutes away from the school. Now that I take a closer look at her body and face, she is really cute. I probably shouldn't stare at her any longer, but it's so hard to take my eyes off her. I'm so sorry y'all, this shit is so embarrassing to write out sad face. Whatever, this might be too much for little ol' me to handle. Some people are staring at us and giving me jealous looks. Like, seriously, how much attention does she grab from just being cute? But I'm no better than them. I can't stop looking at her face. There goes my plan to talk to her. Rimuru Pav before she fell asleep. Now that I think of it, this girl is kinda cute too, but that smug attitude makes it a bit hard to approach her and start a conversation. Master doesn't need any other woman besides me, HMPH. Closing curly bracket quote. Seal said with a jealous tone, but I decided to ignore her, which ended up making her mad. Anyways, this school is supposed to be for the elite students, so I'm still a bit confused on how this girl got in with her disability, but whatever. I might figure it out while I'm there, but I don't plan to get involved in class in the slightest because I want to live a normal school life and have friends too. I don't know if I want to stand out on tests and other activities during class either, because I already get a lot of attention for just being beautiful, so I don't need the unnecessary attention. Maybe I should just go to sleep for now. I mean, we're like 43 minutes away from the school. I should try to make conversation with the little girl next to me, but I don't think I can, but whatever. Let's get some Z's before we get there, hee hee. Still on the bus, lowly girl Pav. During the 40 minutes, Rimuru was asleep on my shoulder. I was playing out a lot of scenarios in my head, trying to figure out what to do when you have a bombshell of a girl laying on your shoulder who is tired and asleep. We got scenario 1 where you don't touch her at all and let her lay on you and make sure she doesn't fall off. This is the most normal of scenarios. Then scenario 2 where you push her away from your shoulder and let her possibly fall back onto someone else and wake her up. If I wake her up, she might get mad at me, and that would ruin any chance I have to talk to her. Scenario 3, which is to wake her up from her sleep so she stops leaning on me. Absolutely not, because what if she wanted to sleep? And she smells so good too, so I'm also at a loss here. So OOCLMAO, and then finally scenario 4, which is to bring her head down on my lap and run my hand through her hair. I like this scenario a lot, but it's quite shameless since we don't know each other and she might wake up a bit shocked. I think I'm going with scenario 4 for sure. Once I decided on what I was going to do, I grabbed her body and laid her down on my lap. Since we were sitting at the back of the bus and none of the seats were occupied, she could lay down straight with nothing to worry about. When I did this move, I got a few glances thrown at me with jealousy, but I blew them off. After a few minutes, Rimuru snuggled up in the angle that my stomach and legs make, while facing upwards while the back of her head is on my thighs. Who would have thought that Rimuru Nava, the only person who can stand on equal footing with the masterpiece, could be so vulnerable? I bring my hand down to soothe her hair as it's enjoyable to me, and she seems to subconsciously like it as well because she is smiling. Since she is napping, she isn't in deep sleep unless she passed out and just didn't get enough sleep last night, but she didn't react to me touching her and bringing her to my lap. I started by touching and rubbing her stomach area lightly to feel her abdominal muscles foo. It looks like I need to be more careful to not wake her up. While feeling her stomach area, I could tell that it's quite solid and I could feel little muscles popping out from her stomach, which confirms that she is in shape and works out. Next, I grab her left arm and feel around her bicep and triceps area, which is also quite developed for a lady, and her forearms don't disappoint either in the slightest. After doing a body check which took about 20 minutes, there were about 10 minutes left on the ride and I was looking at her face while sometimes looking out the window. Foo, I wonder if she will be in my class, and if so, will she try? All these questions filled my head, but Rimuru snapped them all out by moving around on my thighs, which ended up sending a reaction throughout my body. That wasn't very nice, as I brought her head back to its original spot. After 10 minutes the bus finally stopped and the pleasant but informative ride stopped, and now I had to wake up the sleepy princess who is still snuggling on my lap. I start by touching her by the face and telling her to get up. Time to wake up, sleepyhead. She wasn't getting up. It seems like I'll have to resort to using a more direct approach as I brought my head to where her ear was and I blew into it, which jolted her awake while she was still on my thighs. Once she found out what she was laying on, she blushed deep red, which was quite cute in my opinion. Foo, hey, my sleepy princess, it's time to wake up now, I said while rubbing her head. After I said that, she instantly got up and looked away. How cute. Rimuru Pav. This is so embarrassing. I accidentally fell asleep and landed in this girl's lap, and not only that, she was rubbing my head and called me a sleepy princess. Well, what's done is done, I guess. I should probably apologize for the trouble I caused for her. I'm sorry, miss, for falling asleep on your lap. Foo, Tilda, you don't need to apologize. After all, you didn't fall asleep on my lap. You fell asleep on my shoulder, but I brought you down on my lap instead. Wah, she did what? Ooh, what? You actually did that? You know you were enjoying it after all, so I was happy to oblige in being your lap pillow, my sleepy princess Tilda. She actually is teasing me with that smug look on her face. How embarrassing. I should probably leave now after this situation. I hope I'm not in the same class as her because I'll never be able to live this down. Well, let's get going now. The bus has already stopped anyways, she said, and I nodded. I asked if she needed any help getting up and she said she was fine, so I stood by and we both got off the bus. Before walking into the school, I wanted to ask for her name at least. Well, this is long overdue, but what's your name, miss? I said. My name is Arisu Sakayanagi. Now you should tell me your name as well. I don't need to call you sleepy princess all the time, do I, Tilda? Please don't use that nickname for me, it's embarrassing. Anyways, my name is Rimuru, Rimuru Nava, I said. I hope she doesn't freak out at all because I'm in Nava and I'm still supposed to be gone from the people in Japan. Rimuru Nava? Huh? So you're the third leader of the Nava Corporation. It was said you disappeared out of nowhere, but here you are standing right in front of me, Fufu Tilda, she said. Thank goodness she didn't overreact at all, because I don't want to deal with any unwanted attention from others around me. Yes, that's me. But let's get going inside now, Sakayanagi-san, I said, and we both walked into the school. Once I walked into the school, I got to see how massive it was with all the buildings around and the people at the entrance to the school. Third POV. Rimuru and Sakayanagi both walked into the school, and when they walked into the school, people started looking at Rimuru instantly. After that, the students were starting to murmur about the girls who entered into the school and how they were really cute. Sakayanagi took this chance to tease Rimuru a bit again. Look at you attracting all this attention, Nava-san. You're practically like a princess entering their town of commoners, she teased. All these people looking at me is a bit embarrassing, and stop using that nickname, please. Also, from now on call me Rimuru because I don't like people using my last name. It feels weird, Rimuru replied back. Alright then, Rimuru-san, but in return, you can call me Arisu, okay? Alright then, Arisu-san, Rimuru replied back. The two of them end up heading into the school where they will be staying for the next 3 years. Chapter 2. Settling in, Rimuru walking with Arisu, Rimuru POV. After the disaster class of a bus ride where I lost all my dignity, I got to know who the person was. Her name was Arisu Sakayanagi. The more I get to know her, the easier it gets to talk to her even after being in isolation for so long. Back on topic now. If I remember correctly, we were given student IDs to know what class we were in, but I never looked at it. Now I started to ruffle through my clothes, checking all my pockets to find my ID, but my partner next to me started to say something. Rimuru-san, did you by chance look at your student ID? It would be nice to know if we were in the same class, Arisu said to me with that smug grin she usually has on. No, I didn't. I forgot to look at it while on the bus, but I ended up falling asleep while thinking about it. I stated back at her while praying I wasn't in her class. Being in Arisu's class is like losing all my pride that I'm hanging on to. I'm a Nava in this world, so I need to have some confidence. Is this what isolation does to a woman? Master, I think you're just over-degrading yourself in your social capabilities. Seal sighs at me for some reason. Seal, I'm pretty sure talking to all those nobles has done some brain damage on me, I think. Seal just ignores my comment and I go back to looking for my ID. You know, earlier it looked like you were scared of something. Don't tell me you don't want to be in the same class as me. That hurts my feelings, Rimuru-san, Arisu said while wiping away fake tears from her eyes with her right hand. How the hell did she know that? Is that the power of woman's intuition? That's way too up. Of course not, Arisu-san. I do want to be in your class. After all, you're the first person other than my parents and employees to ever talk to me on a friendly level since I was born, I replied back hastily. I don't want to hurt her feelings at all because who knows, maybe she can become my part-time lap pillow for me when I need one. That bus ride was very pleasant, of course, besides that embarrassing moment. Wait, you never have had a friend before coming to this school? She asked me in a bit of a shocked tone. Yes, that's correct. I was isolated from the outside world and all my education was in my house, meaning I'm practically a shut-in, I said, and when she heard that she widened her eyes a bit more but regained her composure and didn't push farther. Right when we finished talking, I finally found my student ID and it had my name on it, Rimuru Nava, my student ID number, and the classroom I'm supposed to be in. Arisu noticed I found my student ID card and spoke up. So tell me, what class are you in? She said. I'm in class 1A. What about you, Arisu-san? I said and asked what class she was in. If she's in my class, I'm screwed. Fufufu Tilda, it seems we're in the same class. Rimuru-san Tilda, I hope we get along together well, she replied to me with a smirk. Of course we're in the same class. It seems like living a normal school life is going to be impossible for me. Time skip. Me and Arisu made it to class 1A finally, and I saw that a few people were here and already sitting down. I started to walk towards my seat in the back of the classroom next to the window and, as fate would have it, Arisu is sitting right next to me. Wow, this is such a strange coincidence, Rimuru-san. Who would have thought that we would be in the same class and sit next to each other, Fufu tilde, Arisu said, enjoying me sulking in my seat. I sighed and put my bag on the side of my desk and just laid my head down, waiting for people to enter the class. I didn't plan on trying to fall asleep yet since we still had the entrance ceremony and the teacher hadn't entered the class yet. The class is starting to fill up the 25 seats slowly, while a few of them shot glances at my desk probably because of my hair. Finally, the teacher entered the class and started speaking. Hello everyone, my name is Tomonari Mishima. In this school, you will not switch classes, so that means I'll be your homeroom teacher for the next 3 years. Under your desks, there is a phone tailored specifically for you to use. Now you guys may see you have something called private points. Private points in this school are the currency which you can buy anything with in this school. 1 private point equals 1 yen. You will all start off with 100,000 private points and will get private points on the first day of the month. This school judges you based on your merit. Is there any question? Arisu ends up raising her hand to ask a question. This girl was able to notice something in the speech that Mishima-sensei gave about how the school worked. I might have underestimated her a bit, but let's see what she has to say. Sensei, how many points will we get next month? Some people started snickering and laughing because they thought they would get 100,000 private points next month. What imbeciles those people are. I can't answer that question. That silenced the people laughing because now they're worried they won't get 100k private points again next month. Is there any other questions? If not, then the entrance ceremony starts in an hour. And with that, Mishima-sensei left the classroom. Arisu ended up getting up from her chair and started walking to the teacher's podium and smacked her cane on the ground to get everyone's attention. Hello my fellow classmates. I think it would be good to introduce ourselves so we can get to know each other since we will be together for the next 3 years. At least she is taking the lead and not me. Guess my social skills have dropped a bit after being in isolation. I'll start. My name is Arisu Sakayanagi and I'm going to be leading this class from now on. I'm confident in my intellectual and academic abilities but physically, not so much. I hope to get to know you guys. I can feel that air of superiority she gives off, but it doesn't affect me at all, but she could be a good leader. I have to disagree with you. My name is Kohei Katsuragi and I believe I possess the abilities to lead this class as well. Ho tilde someone decided to go against Arisu-san, huh? The two of them are just staring at each other. Others start introducing themselves, but a few were able to catch my eye, like this girl Masumi Kamiro and Masayoshi Hashimoto. There was another girl that caught my interest as well, but she is quite quiet. Her name is Ai Morishita. Currently, I have my head down and am just waiting for the entrance ceremony to start and be done with so I can sleep for a bit. Now how about you, sleepyhead in the back row? Go ahead and introduce yourself. I lifted my head up to see Arisu's smug grin, but I had a plan to see if I can get a reaction out of her. Yeah, alright. My name is Rimuru Nava. I'm the heir to the Nava Corporation and its shadow leader. I'm pretty much an all-rounder and can do anything, but I will not listen to any of you at all, so get used to that. For things I like to do, use Arisu-san as my personal lap pillow and sleep. That's all, I said with a smirk on my face, looking towards Arisu. It seems I got a little reaction out of her because I can see a tint of red on her cheeks. Hee, I got her. The people around me were shocked to hear I was Rimuru Nava because, for one, it's been 5 years since I made an appearance. Some were confused about me and Arisu's relationship, I could see it in their actions. Eventually, everyone was done with their introductions and the 2 class representative candidates had a seat. How shameless of you to say that in front of the class. Guess that's what you do when you have 0 manners like yourself, Fufu tilde, she shot back after she sat back in her chair. Oh please, Arisu-san, don't act like you didn't like it tilde after all. You're the one who brought my head onto your lap while I was sleeping, isn't that right? And you called me shameless, hee. I fired back at her claim again. The squabbling between me and Arisu ended when we heard the bell ring, which meant it was time to go to the entrance ceremony. As I got up, I walked up next to Arisu and left with her to go to the entrance ceremony. Arisu-san, you actually had the nerve to call me shameless, but back on the bus, I let you feel up all over my body, HMPH tilde. I pouted teasingly to get a reaction out of her. Fufufu tilde you're not a very good actor, are you, Rimuru-san? You know that you were enjoying me touching you all around, right? I could even see it on your face, Fufu tilde, wah no, that can't be, why the shocked face? When I said you had zero manners, I wasn't lying. You were embarrassed. Fufu tilde, I felt my face go bright red. Impossible. That has to be a lie. Well, that doesn't change the fact that you initiated, so now I'm attached to you. So, from now on, you will be my personal lap pillow when I need it, okay tilde, I said while leaning in a bit in a suggestive manner. Sure, I'll be your personal lap pillow, but you should know that this will come with a cost, even if I like it tilde, she said. Cost? I wonder what she means by cost? I'm not going to help in their class affairs. I don't want anything to do with that. I want a normal school life where I can have fun, not deal with problems. Cost? Unfortunately, like I said in class, I will not involve myself in your affairs or the classes either. Arisu Pavier, damn. Getting Rimuru to involve herself in class affairs is going to be harder than I thought. I saw that there were cameras while on the podium as well, meaning when Mishima-sensei said this school bases its students off of merit, he meant how we behave. Rimuru is an oddball I can't control at all, so I need to find a way to at least make her stay awake while in class. She aired us out while she did her introduction, which embarrassed me a bit. That was foul play, so I shot back, but she just sent it back with wordplay I can't beat. But I was saved by the bell, which gave me time to respond back to her. Instead, she pouted at me calling her shameless. How cute, Hilda. The pleasure she felt while I was analyzing her body was subtle, but she was squirming around. And after that, she said I was going to be her personal lap pillow. Then I thought this was my chance to find a way to make her participate in class, but unfortunately she saw through me and said no. Well, there goes my plan down the drain. This is going to be a long month if she won't get her act together. After the entrance ceremony, in class, 3rd Pav, 10 a.m., Arisu was right about Rimuru not trying in class. She quite literally fell asleep right when she got back to class and sat in her seat. The teacher looked at Rimuru and just went back to teaching, which Arisu noticed. Most of the class is taking notes and paying attention in class, but a few people have noticed Rimuru sleeping while the lesson is going on. If I can't get Rimuru to pay attention in class, we're going to have a big issue, Arisu thought. Ring GGGGG, the class bell rung, signaling it's time for lunch, but Rimuru hasn't woken up yet even after the bell went off. Seems like she can sleep through everything, a purple-haired classmate said while getting up from her seat. Arisu noticed what she said and remembered who she was. Morishita, the girl who sits in front of Rimuru. I can't really get a read on that girl at all, Arisu was thinking, but decided to leave Morishita be for now because she wanted to deal with Rimuru first. Arisu Pav. I need to wake up Rimuru for lunchtime now. I get up and slide myself towards Rimuru and tap her on the shoulder, but she doesn't move at all. Looks like I'll need to use drastic measures to wake her up again. Fufu tilde, I bend forward again to where her ear is and whisper in it again. It's time to wake up again tilde, as I blow into her ear to jolt her awake, which worked again. Her reactions are cute. Fufu tilde, Rimuru Pav. I fell asleep again and got woken up by Arisu to go eat lunch with her. She gave me a very rude awakening again, but she said I didn't wake up when she tapped my shoulder, so she had to use drastic measures. Anyways, me and Arisu went to go get lunch and eat, but I had a few questions I wanted to ask her. When we entered the lunchroom, lots of eyes flicked towards me instantly. This attention never gets old, because it was the same in Tempest as well since I was the leader. Me and Arisu found a table to sit at and started to eat. So, how much have you already figured out about this point system, Arisu? I said to try and probe how much she understood from the script and observing around the class. Are you implying that you have already figured out how the point system works, Rimuru? She said back. I have pretty much figured out how the system works, but I'm just missing a few things. But this isn't about me, it's about you. Fufu tilde, I'll tell you how much I know then. I noticed that the classroom is rigged with cameras, probably monitoring us to judge our behavior, which decides how many points we will get next month, she said. I see, so she has a good read on some of the point system. Her deductive abilities are nothing to laugh at, but this is probably the reason why she wants me to participate in class. But I still refuse to do so. Oh, by the way, please come to my dorm room later, okay? Don't forget your promise. I'll give you my number and message you my dorm room when I get there. Rimuru, you are quite needy, if I say so myself, Arisu said teasingly at me, but she isn't wrong, I guess. We both get up and start walking back to class after lunch ends and sat back down in our seats to get ready for afternoon classes, but I just put my head down to go back to sleep. Time skipped by silly. Afternoon classes have ended and I woke up this time by the bell ringing. I left the classroom to go to the first-year dorms, but first I needed to go buy stuff for myself, which I did after an hour. I got my dorm key, which read 906, which was quite high. I got to my room and opened the door, where there is a kitchen, a desk to do homework and schoolwork, a bathroom, a table to eat on, and a bed with a window next to it. It's cozy for someone like me, but others might not like this. I set my stuff down and organized my room with the stuff I bought, which cost 4,259 private points, which isn't a lot, but I need to get ready for my guest to come over, as I sent her the room number just a few minutes ago. I bought some tea leaves for the both of us because I asked her before what she likes to drink, so I bought that for this moment. Knock knock knock.